Well, hello again, and today we're going to be in Mark chapter 5. And in Mark chapter 5, we continue to see Jesus do amazing miracles, always with something in mind, either the compassion of God to heal, or really as an attached sign and wonder to show people what he is about, and to cause people to reflect on who he is. The first section is the famous story that we probably all know about the demoniac that was possessed by a legion of demons. So Jesus, it says, went to the country of the Gadarenes, and immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit. Well, he had more than one unclean spirit, as we'll soon see. And he had tremendous strength because of the demonic presence within him. And I'm sure that he was, a legend. I'm sure everyone knew about him. But notice that he's right there. When Jesus gets off the boat, he's right there. And he cries out with a loud voice and says, "What have I to do with you, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I implore you by God that you do not torment me." Now, these are really the demons, again, bearing witness to who Jesus is. They recognize that he's the Son of God, and really that he has the power to torment them by casting them out or commanding them what to do. They've had free reign over this man, but that's about to end, and they suspect that. So Jesus commands the spirits to name themselves, and the man answered, he's saying, "My name is Legion, for we are many." And he begged him earnestly that he would not send them out of the country. So it's kind of interesting there that the man and the demons are so closely identified with each other. The demonic has taken such a hold of this man that when he speaks, really the demons are speaking, and that's really a shocking and fearful thing. But Jesus is up. He's more than up for it, and he commands the demons to come out of the man. But the demons beg him to go into this herd of I guess it says 2,000 swine. And he, yes, 2,000 swine. And Jesus agrees to it. And I think he does that. To really show people like how badly this man was demon possessed, how many demons, came out of this man, but also it's another figure, it's another sort of like word picture of what Jesus is doing. He's casting out a multitude of demons from situations, and he's causing them to be exposed. Now, this happened. The Gadarenes is a part of Israel, known as the Decapolis, and the Decapolis was a series of 10 cities that were really under, they were probably more Gentile. They were not necessarily settled by the Jews. They were under Roman occupation, and therefore they were probably like a bit cultured, a bit Gentile. So the fact that there was a herd of 2,000 pigs is not out of the ordinary, but really considering that pigs are unclean in Jewish society, Jesus again was making a statement. But the statement really is not about the pigs. It's about he's taking the authority over the demons, and the demons again are recognizing him right away. They recognize him right away, and he is casting out them and their power, just as he will be doing in the larger society, not just in this situation, but in the larger society. And that's what he's come to do. He's come to cast out the demonic authority. So, so the demons are cast out. They go into the pigs. The pigs freak out. They go over the side of the mountain, and they're all drowned in the sea. So it must have been quite a scene, and people watching it must have been like amazed, horrified, and it must have been the talk of the town. So Jesus is not one to, again, he's not holding back what he's doing. He's doing it publicly, and he's causing a stir. I mean, again, he could have commanded, he could have forbidden the demons to go into the pigs and not made quite so large a scene, but he lets this happen to, again, show his authority and to show in a greater way that he's cleansing the demonic out of the land. So they began to plead with him to depart from the region. No, there's little wonder that that happened. And when he got into the boat, the demon-possessed man is completely healed. He's sitting completely clothed in his right mind, and he's back to being himself. And he wants to follow Jesus. And Jesus says, "Go home to your friends and tell them what great things the Lord has done for you and how He has had compassion on you." So he sends this witness. Jesus chooses not to allow the man to follow him as a disciple, but to send him back to bear witness to what happened. And so he does, and he proclaimed in the Decapolis all that Jesus had done for him, and all marveled. Now the second, and really the question that we want to ask ourselves with this is, what is Jesus wanting to cast out? What demonic things is Jesus wanting to cast out, not just of people, but of whole regions, of society at large? What things, or even in the church world, are there demonic things that inhabit the church world that need to be cast out? And so that's a good question. It's a sobering question to be asking ourselves. So as we go on to the next pericope, this is very sweet. And one of the rulers of the synagogue named Jairus came. And so we do see that there are seekers in the religious system, even though it had been corrupted. Jairus loves his daughter, and his daughter is very, very ill to the point of death. And he asks Jesus to come lay hands on her because he recognizes that Jesus has the authority to heal people. So Jesus went with them, and a crowd followed, as we see here. And while that's happening, there was a woman, and she had also had a health problem. She had been bleeding for 12 years. And she knew if she could touch the garment of Jesus that she would be healed. Now that's pretty great faith. But she wasn't probably going to face him head on, or, wondered if she could get to him or what that happened. All she knew is that if she could get to him and just touch him, that she would be healed. And so she does. She presses her way through, and you can imagine the crowd milling around Jesus, and she presses in and she touches him, and virtue goes out of him. And he swings around, and he says, "Who touched me?" Because he could feel it. He recognizes that faith had been exercised, and that in this woman touching him, she was reaching out, and that healing power had gone out of him that he necessarily did not even know about or deliberately mean to go out of him, but the faith of this woman drew it out of Jesus. And so, the disciples are like, what? What are you talking about? Like, there's 1 million people jostling us. What are you saying? People are, someone touched you. So the woman is afraid. She's afraid of what might happen. So she goes to him, and she falls down in front of him, tells him the truth. And of course, Jesus says to her, "Your faith has made you whole. Go in peace and be healed." And it says, while he was still speaking, some came from the ruler of the synagogue's house and said, "Your daughter is dead." So again, he was on his way to Jairus's house to heal the daughter, but on the way while Jesus is making his way there, the little girl dies. And Jesus says, don't worry about it. It's nothing. She's sleeping. And I'm like, whoa. Again, Jesus he's saying things that he doesn't have to say. And he's saying them in order to sort of rile things up and see how people are going to respond. And they, the people there are like laughing at him. Like, are you crazy? We know dead from sleeping, and she's dead. And Jesus is like, no, she's just sleeping. Because death to Jesus is as, as powerless as someone falling asleep. So he saw that there was like unbelief and ridicule there. So he only took Peter, James, and John with him into there. And he brings the girl. He just tells the little girl to sit up. And he heals her. She comes back to life. And everyone was just like blown away from that. And then, there's this little touch that Mark adds, that he commanded them that no one should know it, which is interesting. It's again, he's both calling attention to himself, and yet he's not wanting people to talk about what happened. So he commanded that no one should know it, and then he said, give the little girl something to eat, which is really sweet. So what is this? What is this tension between Jesus doing, things that call attention to himself, and also commanding the people to kind of like let it lie low, because he's got to manage the tension. He's got to manage what's going on and not let the crowd or again the demons have the power to take this thing out of his control. He needs to accomplish the Father's purpose. So he's again only doing what the Father has asked him to do. And I guess it's really important. The question we can ask ourselves there is, how do we stay in the lane that God has ordained for us? So often we can be pushed by the demonic, or pushed by people, perhaps by crowds of people, to get out of our lane. Perhaps if you're gifted in a certain area, you can be pushed to use that gift. And God wants to have control over when and if and how you use that gift, because he knows best why he designed it and what he intends to use it for. And yet people can use it for their own gain, or just think it's a good thing. So we want to be asking ourselves with this, how do I stay in my own lane? How do I follow the Lord? The man that was demon possessed, he wanted to follow Jesus, and wouldn't you? He wanted to become a follower of Jesus and follow Jesus around. And Jesus says, no, you need to stay in your own lane, stay in your own neighborhood, and testify to me, and that will serve the kingdom better, because Jesus knows what will serve the kingdom. And so we really need to be careful that we don't assume what we know, what will serve the kingdom, but instead allow the Lord to tell us what to do, to lead us, to guide our lives in the way that he would have us to go, and not in the way that either the demonic or popular opinion would have us to go. So that is Mark chapter 5, and we'll be again with you soon looking at Mark chapter 6. Thank you.